Okay, so today we're diving into uh, the Scottish Highlands,
Right.
land of mist, legends,
Right.
and a people shrouded in mystery, the Picts.
Yeah.
Fierce warriors vanished almost without a trace. I
Hmm.
mean, all that's left are these whispers of sorcery and those standing stones.
Right.
This time we're doing things a little differently, though. We're ditching the usual, dusty manuscripts, the old books,
Yeah.
and we are going to be diving headfirst into, well, Pulp Fiction
Interesting. Okay.
with Robert E. Howard's Men of the Shadows.
Men of the Shadows.
Yeah, and it's a story. Obviously, we know it's a story,
Yeah.
but it gives us a glimpse into how the Picts might have seen themselves,
Oh, fast.
like their own perspective on their history.
I like it.
What you're about to hear is a tale within a tale. It's like a secret history passed down through generations.
I love that. It's really fascinating how cultures, especially those that maybe have faced defeat or been marginalized,
Right.
cling to these stories, these
Yes.
narratives that kind of validate their place in the world.
Exactly. And so picture this.
Yeah.
We've got this captured Norseman, right?
Okay.
And he's hauled before the Pictish king, Bran Mac Morn.
Mac Morn. Yeah.
I mean, come on, that name alone, just say it out loud, Bran Mac Morn.
Bran Mac Morn.
It conjures up this image of like some hulking, barbaric figure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Big, burly, terrifying.
Yeah. But our Norseman friend here is in for a bit of a surprise because Howard, he describes Mac Morn as radiating this power, this intellect. He's like the furthest thing from the stereotypical image of a savage Pict.
That's interesting. So he's a nuanced figure. He's got layers.
Totally. This is not your average barbarian king.
Okay.
But there's this underlying tension too, right? Like the Picts, they hated the Romans, obviously.
Of course. Yeah.
But they had this special kind of loathing for the Norse.
The Norse, really? Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. The Picts are constantly having to fight off invaders.
Yeah, pushed to the edges of their land.
Exactly. So the Romans, they're a problem. Don't get me wrong. They're definitely a threat.
Yeah.
The Norse are like this immediate danger. They're constantly raiding the coasts.
Oh, I see. So it's like a more present danger, a more visceral hatred almost.
It's like that old saying, the enemy of my enemy.
Right, yeah.
But just when things are about to get, really heated between Mac Morn and the Norsemen, we're introduced to another major player.
Who's that?
The Wizard.
The Wizard. Okay.
Yeah, but this is not just any wizard. This guy's practically ancient history himself.
Oh, wow.
Even by Pictish standards.
Really?
Like he's woven from the land's magic itself.
So he represents like that connection to the ancient past, to the old ways.
He is the keeper of traditions, of forgotten knowledge. He's the one who reluctantly reveals the Picts' true history.
So it's like those stories your grandparents would tell you when you were a kid. They've got these amazing stories, these experiences.
Yeah.
You're just dying to hear them.
You're just waiting for them to spill the beans. And let me tell you, this story is mind-blowing. The Wizard, he claims that the Picts, the nameless tribe, as he calls them, they weren't just some humans. They were the first humans.
The first humans. Wow.
Yeah.
So they predate what, like recorded history?
Oh, yeah. We're talking about a time before written history, before the pyramids, it's almost impossible for us to even imagine.
That's incredible.
They came from this land that predates even the myths of Atlantis, of Lemuria.
Wow.
These continents lost to time.
Okay, so they've got this incredible origin story.
Yeah.
But they weren't just, hanging out in caves this whole time, right?
Oh, absolutely not. These guys, they were way ahead of their time. The Wizard, he talks about them crossing continents.
Really?
Battling these monstrous races like the Atlanteans.
Oh, wow.
The Lemurians. And these weren't just some pushovers. These were powerful civilizations in their own right.
Yeah.
Right.
Through these trials, they mastered crafts, agriculture. They even achieved this, like, golden age.
A golden age, huh? It's interesting how that idea, that concept of a lost paradise, a golden age, appears again and again in different cultures.
Yeah, it's like this universal longing for a simpler time.
Right. A more noble past.
Makes their eventual downfall that much more tragic.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it couldn't last forever, could it?
No. Each successive race, a little less advanced, a little more brutal, pushes them further and further back. Eventually, they're forced into the Highlands of Scotland. It's a story that, I don't know, kind of resonates even today,
Oh, absolutely. You see echoes of that displacement, that feeling of being pushed aside all over the world.
Yeah.
Think about Native Americans here in North America, for instance. Right, exactly. It's tough, thinking about their golden age fading away like that,
Yeah.
becoming just another, footnote in someone else's history book.
Right.
But the wizard, he doesn't let us forget it. He uses Pictish fire magic.
Fire magic.
Yeah, and I'm picturing like a full-on fantasy epic magic here
Oh, wow.
to show our captive Norsemen,
Yeah.
visions of empires rising and falling.
It's like that cyclical nature of power, isn't it?
It really is.
The Gauls, the Britons,
Yeah.
even the Romans, who seem so invincible.
Right.
They all crumble eventually.
It's like their glories just fade away, become legends whispered on the wind. It reminds me of that line from Shelley.
Really, yeah.
My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair.
Right. And even the mightiest empires, they end up as dust and echoes.
It's true. And the thing is, we're not just talking about, some vague empires from the distant past here.
Right.
We're talking real historical figures caught up in the flames of the wizard's vision.
Oh, wow.
Like Brennus, the Gaulish warlord.
Brennus, yeah.
The one who sacked Rome.
Right.
And even, Julius Caesar himself standing triumphant over the Britons.
It's like Howard, he takes these familiar names, these historical events, these anchors, and he weaves them into the narrative.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's inviting us, the listeners,
Yeah.
to, look closer, dig a little deeper into these figures, see how they fit into the grand scheme of things.
It's like he's pulling us into this tapestry of history. And eventually, that tapestry leads us to the Picts' own shot at glory.
Okay.
Or at least that's what the wizard's prophecy foretells, right?
Right.
And I imagine he's delivering this prophecy with like equal parts fire and sorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Rome will fall, the Norse will overrun Britain.
Right.
But then
Then what?
the Picts' time will come.
Their time will come.
Under Bran Mac Morn, they're gonna know vengeance. They're gonna know unity.
Wow.
Even a taste of that lost golden age.
It's like this glimmer of hope in this otherwise tragic story.
It is, but, and this is a big but,
Yeah.
it's bittersweet.
Bittersweet. How?
Because even as Mac Morn unites the Pictish tribes,
Yeah.
even as they're savoring these victories, hard-won victories,
Right.
the wizard, he sees their end.
He sees their end.
Their inevitable end.
It's like, it's not just about the victories, it's about the long game, the bigger picture.
It is, and that lost fire, that spirit, it's fading.
It's fading.
Dwindling with every generation. It makes you think, though, doesn't it?
About.
Well, I mean, what does it mean to fight for a lost cause, right?
Right.
Is there nobility in facing defeat, knowing time waits for no one?
It's a heavy question. It really makes you think about Bran Mac Morn in a different light.
Totally.
I mean, here's this larger-than-life figure fighting for his people, knowing deep down it might all be for nothing.
It's heavy stuff. What would you do? It's like, even if you see the ending, it doesn't change the fight, If
Right.
it matters, it matters.
Yeah.
But man, what a weight to carry, right?
Yes.
I can't imagine like staring down those odds,
No.
Even with like a dragon at my back, I don't know.
It's a testament to the human spirit, though, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely.
Even facing oblivion, we find the strength, the will to resist, to fight for what we believe in.
To cling to that hope.
Yeah.
It's what makes the Picts story, even if it's fictional, so powerful.
Right.
So relatable. But the Wizard's Tale, it takes this really interesting turn. He starts talking about these continents beyond Europe, places we've never heard of.
Really?
He's talking about the time before recorded history,
Right.
lost empires, monstrous races. It's almost like he's hinting at something more.
Something more.
Yeah, like some kind of truth buried beneath all these legends.
And that's the beauty of fiction, isn't it?
It is.
It makes us question, makes us wonder,
Mm-hmm.
could there be some truth, some kernel of truth hidden within these fantastical stories?
Right. Because for every historical fact, for every archaeological discovery, we have all these stories, legends.
Whispers.
Yeah, whispers of something more. Something ancient, powerful.
Waiting to be rediscovered.
It's like that feeling you get when you're standing on a shore, looking out at the ocean.
Yeah.
There's this whole other world down there, hidden beneath the surface.
Right.
Who knows what incredible secrets those depths hold? What if the wizard stories about the Picts' origins, about Lemuria and Atlantis?
What if they're true?
What if they're more than just stories? What if somewhere out there, hidden beneath the waves, swallowed by the jungle? What if there's evidence?
Evidence of what?
Of these lost civilizations, of humanity's first footsteps. just waiting to be found.
It's an incredible thought, isn't it?
It is.
And one I hope stays with you long after this depth dive is over.
Yeah, me too.
So keep asking questions, keep exploring, keep seeking out those whispers of the past.
Because you never know what you might uncover.